This is Tecker 911, episode 92, Live Sync.
I'm Michael Plasmeier,
And I'm Reed Dame.
and today we're going to show you Live Sync as well as one of its competitors, Dropbox.
So basically, if you have more than one computer, or you just want to safely back up your files, which you probably should be doing, these services will do that for you, in addition to synchronizing with all your computers.
Right. We'll talk about the backup in a minute because it's not the best backup because it backs up the latest change automatically. So it will protect you against one computer failing, but it won't protect you against making a bad change to a file or something like that because it doesn't save previous versions. So it's a partial backup solution. But really the main use for it is if you have multiple computers that you want to keep in sync. So right now you might put files on a flash drive, but then you have to keep moving the files back and forth, and they're on the flash drive.
And you lose your flash drive breaks.
Right. Or you may be using Windows File and Printer Sharing, which we talked about in an earlier episode, but that's a real pain to set up.
Yeah, I really don't like Windows printer sharing and file sharing.
Yeah, it's sort of the last generation solution. So this is the current generation. What it does is it keeps all your files in sync over the internet, uses P2P file sharing technology, but fully encrypts it. Microsoft never receives your files. Windows Live Sync, formerly Folder Share, is owned by Microsoft, but Microsoft only gets the list of files, not the actual files themselves. We said works over the internet, works everywhere. So what you do is, like, if you make a change, like let's say you have files, it'll copy the files so that they'll be on both computers. Then if you take one computer, go offline, make a few changes, the next time you go online, your changed file is automatically sent to the other computer, and that way they're always up to date. Takes about 2 or 3 minutes to sync them, plus the file transferring time. So if it's large files, it's not the best for large files because it does have a copy on both computers. So if it's like your 30 gig music library, unless you want that to exist on both computers, taking up 30 gigs on each computer, you might not want to use folder share.
That's probably not so smart.
Yeah.
So basically a use for this might be, let's say you have a laptop and a desktop, you have a document, you create it on your desktop, then you need to run out. So you're editing it on your laptop, and then your laptop runs out of power, so you can go back to your desktop and keep working on it.
Right.
You could do this with another thing like Google Docs, but
this is, on your native file system, any files, and I use it just in the way Reed described. I have a tablet, a laptop, and a desktop, and like folders like my school files and stuff are copied on the tablet, so I could be working on a document on the tablet, and then I save the document. When both computers are online, it'll transfer the file to my desktop, and then my desktop will get the latest copy of the document, can make further edits there, save. Tablet will get the changes back. Always in sync. So let's do a real quick demo here. I've signed into the Windows Live Sync website. You have to use your Microsoft username and password, and you have to download the Live Sync client. It's available for Windows or for Mac. And when the client just runs down here in the corner, right here, you can see the activity window. There is no activity in right now because I have to set up. So I have these folders which are on other computers. GPS log, we talked about in episode 85, my GPS logs. Let's say I wanted them on this computer as well. Right now this folder is synced with my desktop and my tablet, which is offline, and there are 48 files, and it's automatic synchronization. So I'm going to add this computer. So it's D2002 is this computer, and then I have to choose where I want it. I'm going to put it on the desktop. I'm going to create a new folder called GPS logs. then tell it automatic synchronization. And then you can see here the client said that GPS logs is now on this computer. We go activity, and you see here it's receiving my files. Takes a minute or two to download everything. You can see they're showing up. If I go to the desktop and open that folder, here we are. Here's the GPS logs. If you see this little P2P icon, that means the file is yet to download. So it's actually downloading as we speak. It's about half done right now. Actually, if we refresh, still working. You can use the activity window to track the progress. As you see here, it's busy setting them about 1 each second. And then as I said, if I make a change, if I add a log here, it'll show up on my tablet, show up on my desktop when both computers are online.
Yeah.
There's an alternative to this service, Dropbox. Reed's going to talk about this one. It's similar, yet different.
I personally like Dropbox for my backup and synchronization of files. That's at getdropbox.com. You can just go there, and the main thing I like about Dropbox over the Windows Live Sync is that, one, you can access your files online just from a web browser, so you don't even have to download anything. Another thing is it does work on Linux if you have that.
Yeah, the online access, Windows Live Sync is going to change to Windows Live Mesh, which is sort of like a beta right now. I think mesh.live.com. That has, you can access the first 5 gigabytes of data online. So if you're on a friend's computer, you can go to the website, sign in, you see your files, and you can pick the ones that you want and then download. It won't do the synchronization without installing anything, of course. But if you just need a quick file on like a friend's computer. One quick thing I mentioned with, I forgot to mention on LiveSync, if you give permission in the client, right click, and then go more, and then settings, I can actually check allow remote access to this computer, and that will allow remote file access. So then if I'm online and this computer is on and I'm somewhere else, anywhere on the internet, I can open up the file tree of this computer and download any file off that computer that I want. So you do have to enable that in options. Works online. The computer, of course, has to be on and online, but that's another cool option.
That's a pretty convenient feature.
Not full remote access, like log me in, which we talked about, or go to my PC. You can't like see the screen. It's just file reading access. Back to Dropbox, yeah.
One component of both of these services is backup, and as Paz said, it's not perfect backup because it only saves the latest version of your file. So let's say you're editing a document, accidentally select everything and hit delete, and accidentally save. Then that file is gone, unless you can undo it. And so that won't protect you against that.
Right.
However, perfect example here, my old tablet, I was using it, I had school documents on it, and it just died. Like, it wouldn't even turn on. And because I had all my files backed up, I could just open them on my new tablet, and I had all my files.
Right, because he had like a desktop that he had Dropbox on. So he had Dropbox on his tablet and his desktop. It was up to sync when it died.
Actually, I just had Dropbox.
Right.
It just uploaded them to the web.
Okay.
And with Dropbox, you don't even have to have a second computer.
Right, so the web, and then when the tablet died, you got a new tablet, logged in with your Dropbox account, downloaded everything that was on your Dropbox on your web back to your tablet.
Exactly, and that's pretty convenient.
The change with Dropbox, instead of setting up the files like I showed in LiveSync, it'll just add a new folder on your computer called your Dropbox, and anything you put in there gets synced around.
It's not as convenient because you have to store everything in one folder rather than anywhere on your computer. But
it's just like different UI convention. Is it? Do you have to go through the trouble of choosing which folders to sync, or does it just add a folder and then it syncs there? Dropbox, it's like a little easier to set up, but as Reed said, it's a little less convenient because you always have to go to the Dropbox folder, whereas LiveSync takes 5 minutes per folder to set up on each computer. and then it syncs anywhere on your hard drive. With LiveSync, there's one more advantage. You can actually sync files with different people. So if you're working on like a book together or like a group project, if everyone has LiveSync installed, then you get that same computer-to-computer interaction between computers owned by different people.
And just to mention with Dropbox, if you're in your Dropbox and you right-click any file, you can click Get Public Link, and that'll give you a getdropbox.com/something, and you can paste that into an email or an IM conversation, and they can just click that and get that file.
Right, so folder share, Dropbox, or LiveSync and Dropbox are very similar. They do have those differences, slightly different philosophy, slightly different extra features. Both you should take a look at and decide which one's right for you. I'm Michael Plasmeier.
I'm Reed Dame.
Enjoy syncing. To watch this episode again or to watch any of our prior episodes, you can visit our website, 911.tecker.net, T-E-C-K-E-R. And on the website we have our prior episodes, as well as you can view them directly on the website, or you can download them in WMV for Windows, iPod or QuickTime format for your iPod, or if you have iTunes installed, an MP3 audio-only version of the show, and a WMV HD version of the show, which you can download via BitTorrent that looks really, really clear and in pristine HD quality. And instructions for downloading via BitTorrent are also on the site. On the right-hand side, we have more information about us and about each of the members of the show, as well as quick links to all of our prior episodes and links to the RSS feeds for each of the formats that we release the show in, and links to subscribe to the show in iTunes if you have an iPod, an Apple TV, an iPhone, any Apple device. You can click on that link in either video or audio format. You can also in iTunes search for Tecker, T-E-C-K-E-R, in the iTunes store, and then you can find our podcast that you can subscribe to free. Also, if you do not have an iPod, if you have like a generic MP3 player, then you can use the you can still listen to our show if on our website you subscribe to this MP3 audio version in a feed catcher, in a podcatcher like Juice. You can search for Juice on Google, download that program, and then it'll load the shows automatically onto your generic MP3 playing device. If you have any questions about the show or about technology, you can send us an email at 911@tecker.net, or you can leave us a voicemail at 610-572-2847. Thank you so much for watching Tecker 911.